this. Your parents separating at age 4. At age 7, you lose your father. And because he was your protector, you also start getting molested. At age 16, you get pregnant and get into a relationship that is full of emotional abuse. And above all, you go through multiple assaults. But Celine is here today with her fresh start journey. So inspiring. I can't wait to share this with you. So welcome to A Fresh Start with Jackie. Welcome, Celine. You look so good.
Thank
Now,
you.
tell us, where did your fresh start journey begin?
I won't start by saying my fresh start.
Yes.
About my fresh start.
Yeah.
Without talking about my journey.
Yes.
And my journey starts when I was way young, when my parents separated. I was about 4 or 3 and a half.
Okay.
When mom left.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 3, but she left with 1.
Oh, she left with 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she left me and my younger brother who comes after me.
Okay.
With dad.
Okay.
And life didn't change because dad took great care of us. And I never felt that mom had left until my dad passed on when I was around 7 years.
Okay.
He had an accident and passed on.
Okay.
And I was left with relatives.
On whose side?
On my dad's side.
Okay.
And my grandparents, my dad's brothers and sisters. And life changed. Then nobody talks to children about death, so nobody talked to me about death. And
How
I just
old were
took
you
it
at
in.
this
I
time?
was 7 years. And
You were 7 years?
Yeah.
And your younger sibling?
Was about 5 years.
5 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I took it in. As in, nobody told me this is what happened, but I knew something had happened. And life changed for us because now we've been thrown into another family. We were not used to this.
Were you separated or you both went to the same family?
We both went to the same family.
Okay.
There was nowhere else to go.
Oh.
Yeah, so I didn't know my mom's family.
Okay.
So this is where we were left. And I can say they didn't take care of us. They did to their best.
Okay.
Yeah, but we had this, my dad's cousins who used to live with us. And they started molesting me as young as 7 years, 8 years.
7 years, 8 years?
8 years.
How old were these cousins that were molesting
They were
you?
older. They were in campus.
They were in campus?
Yes.
Okay.
And I had no one to tell, basically, because they said if you say this, we will beat you.
So you stay with them in the same house?
Yes.
And they can molest you anytime because you don't have a safe space.
I do not
for
have
you
a
to
safe
go to.
space.
Yeah.
And there's no one to tell. They're in the same compound.
Okay.
So most of the time, my grandmother, when she goes for fellowship, she's leaving us with them.
To take care of you.
To take care
because
of
you're the younger ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I dreaded the times
that your grandmother left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was a nightmare and I had no one to tell. So I kept all this pent up bitterness and anger inside me. And I became a rebellious child. Because I need attention, I want to be loved, but there's no one to do it. So what did I do? I used to do things to attract attention.
Yeah.
But nobody saw it. And they thought I was a bad child.
Because you're attracting any attention, even the negative attention.
Even the negative attention.
Yeah.
At this age, you are attracting negative attention.
Yes.
Huh? And they started caning me.
Wow. Because you're a rebellious child.
Because I'm rebellious, and so they beating. Actually, my body is full of scars of being whipped, kicked, and there's so much anger and bitterness in me
At that time.
But I had no one to tell, so I kept it inside me. And I grew up, and I went to high school. I went to a boarding school, and let's say at 15, maybe I met the only man who said he loved me.
Because you're still craving for attention, you're craving for love.
Yes.
So at 15 you met a man.
A man.
Who was how old?
He was older than me by 5 years, so he was about 20.
He was about 20?
Yes.
Okay.
And he said he loved me. And I fell hook, line and sinker.
Oh. Because nobody had ever expressed it.
Yes.
Nobody had ever said it to you.
Said it to me.
And I'm noticing that all these years, your mother is still not in the picture.
She's still not in the picture.
Is there a conversation around where she is?
No, there's no conversation. Actually, there's no one to tell me what has happened, and the things I overheard, she's not a good person, such things. So I kept it to myself. I didn't even ask. There was no need to even ask, because it was a hushed conversation.
Okay. So the conversation you're hearing about your mother is negative?
Is negative.
And it's not told to you directly?
Yeah.
The conversation you're hearing about your father's death also is harsh.
Yes.
Nobody is guiding you, talking to you about grief, or nobody is even concerned about your grief.
About my grief.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I grew up like any child. And at 15, someone says he loves me, and I fell. I'm 15.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, I was pregnant.
At 15?
At 15.
That is from what?
From, I went to school when I was pretty young, so I was in Form 3.
You were in Form 3 at that time?
Yes.
Was the molestation at home, had it come to an end?
It was not, it had not come to an end.
Okay.
But it was not often like before.
Okay, it was not as severe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at 16, I had my first child, and it was a CS. And I remember the doctor saying, "You're supposed to be in class."
Yeah.
And I joked and I said, "Doctor, I've done biology, and this is practical."
That is what you said?
Still a child.
Gosh.
And it was a CS.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
But how was the reaction at home? When you come back home and you're pregnant?
Yeah.
What was the reaction of your caretakers?
It was a hushed conversation too.
Oh.
But you could tell the rejection.
Okay.
Also, my grandmother passed on at this time.
When you're pregnant?
I was 4 months pregnant when she passed on. Yeah, and the conversation went, some of them said that I had stressed her until she died. She was only 54. And so there was a lot of stigma around it, and push and shove. But I was so used to just adapting to life and keeping my emotions to myself and just letting life flow.
And what is this young man doing at this time? Is he a student? Is he also feeling adult enough to marry?
He was a student in campus, and sometimes I would be with him, sometimes I'm not with him. He was not ready.
Yeah.
So it was a come and go relationship. Yeah. I wouldn't even call that marriage. Yeah, because when I went to have my child, he was not there. Only one of my aunties stood with me. So I had my baby, and this is a child having another child.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to bring up a child. Not even how to hold a child.
Yeah.
And he is my son. But then I decided now I'll become a mother. I am a mother. I have to to go with the stride. And so I began fending for my child, doing casual jobs, and
So as a child?
As a child.
So you went into child labor because of the demands of
my baby.
Of your baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he said, come, let's leave. And I sat for my KCSE in his house.
Okay.
Yeah. And before I knew it, I was pregnant again.
Because right now, you're living together.
We're living together.
Wow. And how old are you at this time?
17.
So 17, you're not still as an adult.
Yes.
In our constitution, you're still a child.
A child.
Married, having a child, and now expecting another child.
Another child. And I think at this time I went into a depression.
Oh.
And he was moving around with my best friend. Yeah. And I decided this is enough, let me go back home. And you know, at this time my grandmother had passed on. So I'm going home to basically no one, because no one wants me. And I went home, and my aunt at this time, the only person who has ever stood with me, was not working.
Wow.
And there was so much hostility between her and her brothers because of taking me in.
So you're going back to your auntie, pregnant?
I'm going back home to my grandmother's, but my auntie is there.
Is there?
Yeah.
You're pregnant and you have?
Another toddler.
A toddler. Yeah. And your husband is moving out with your friends?
With my friends.
And when you talk about friends at this time, they're also 17-year-olds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's so much hostility.
Yeah.
So I would just do casual job. And at this time I think I had depression. Sometimes I would think I want to do clean up, maybe my son's clothes. I would take them out and then sit until evening without recollecting my thoughts where I am. And then later I would realize I removed clothes to wash.
Wow.
But it's night time. You know, I need to go back to the house.
Okay.
And those months passed until I was 9 months pregnant.
Did anyone notice this odd behavior that was happening with you? Or there was so much hostility?
There's so much hostility.
They were so tired.
Yes.
And
yes.
They didn't...
The stubborn child is pregnant again.
And we expected it.
Yeah.
So they didn't bother?
It didn't, yeah.
Okay.
They didn't bother, nobody bothered. And when time came to have my child, I locked myself in the house. The first child was a CS.
Yeah.
And it's barely 2 years.
Yeah.
So I locked myself in the house from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And on Saturday morning, with the little strength I had, I pushed my child.
Wow. That was
and blacked out.
Gosh.
Yes.
That was such an experience.
Yeah. If there's an event in my life where I have seen God holding me, He came in person. That was the event.
Wow. At 17, pregnant, you lock yourself in a room. Are you aware that you are going through labor, that you're about to give birth? Are you aware that this is what's happening to you at that time when you locked yourself in the room?
I don't think I was aware of the danger, but at this time I was begging God to die, to let us die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I really wanted to die.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't. Unfortunately, I didn't die. I'm here. And, and God let us live for a purpose.
Yes.
And here I am with another baby. And now I need to fend for my two children.
Who found you in the room?
A neighbor who
when
had
you
me
give
scream.
birth and you black out.
A neighbor who had me scream and my auntie.
Okay.
Yeah, so I found that they had dropped the baby. And when I looked at that baby, all I saw was poverty. And I didn't know where or how to start. But I had this resolve in me that I wanted the best for my children. I didn't want my children to grow up the way I grew up, without my mother. Yeah, so I had this resolve to make it better for them.
Okay.
And so I started casual jobs as soon as possible, as soon as I gave birth.
Mm-hmm.
And I just did casual jobs here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Until at 8 months, I decided now I want to go back to my house.
When your second child is a girl or a boy?
A boy.
So when your son was 8 months old,
Yes,
you decided that
I
you
want
can
to go
give
back
this
to him.
relationship another chance. Yeah.
And at this time, God gave him another chance to live to the US.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was left here with the children,
Mm-hmm.
and life changed for us. He would send money.
Mm.
Life changed for us.
Mm-hmm.
But after a year, he decided I want to come back.
Mm.
And he came back just to see us and then go back.
Mm.
And when he was here, we decided to have another baby.
Okay.
And as soon as I got pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
the abuse started.
How old are you at this time?
I was 24.
24.
23, 24.
23, 24, all right?
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
he would bring women in the house. I would sleep on the couch. He would ask me to sleep on the couch while he slept on the bed with the women.
In your presence, in your house?
In my presence, in my house.
Where are the
Pregnant.
children?
They're in the house. He's not worried. He has money now. So
Okay.
one day he brought 2 women, and they were making a lot of noise in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I knocked on the door to tell them to hush because of the children. It was a holiday and the children were home. He came out, he slapped me, rolled me down the stairs, and he threw money at me, told me, go have an abortion. And
You were pregnant?
Yes, I was 5 months pregnant.
Okay.
And that is the day I left for good.
Wow.
Yeah, so I went home. I started a business with my children, and the business did well until I gave birth to my daughter.
The hostility was not there this time at home?
No,
Or
I
you
looked
went
for
back
a
and
house.
Oh,
With
you
the
did?
money,
Okay.
I looked for a house. It was 20K,
Mhm.
and started a business.
So you didn't go back to auntie?
No,
Because it would look like every time you're going back
Yeah,
home with
yeah.
the pregnancy.
with the pregnancy.
Yeah.
Until I gave birth to my daughter, it was another CS. And when my daughter was 3 months old, I started another business. I would go to Southern Sudan,
Mm.
take clothes and come back.
Mm-hmm.
And the business did so well
Mm-hmm.
until after 2 years, I bought a second-hand phone. And unfortunately, it was a stolen phone. Yeah, I was taken to court, slapped with a cash bill of 150. I was not worried because I had that money in my account.
Okay.
So what I did is I called my best friend and I told her, take my ATM, go withdraw money for me, come and pay bill. She disappeared with all my money, around 480, and I was in Langata Women for 1 year, 8 months.
Because
Remand.
of that action?
Yes, remand section. And so
When you went to prison, what happened to your kids?
I did not know at that time because I had no one to ask. So I just prayed and asked God to take care of them. My daughter was about 2 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I came out of prison, I went to look for my children.
Mm.
The landlord asked me, did you leave your children with me? Go and look for them. So I had to look for my children.
This is a year later?
Yeah, almost 2 years. It's 1 year and 8 months.
So almost 2 years later?
Yes.
Were you getting visitors in the prison?
No.
You didn't have a chance to communicate to the outside world?
The outside
and
world.
just to know
Yeah.
what's happening with my kids?
Yes.
And you had no connection?
I had no connection at all, at all.
Okay.
Yeah, so my children were living with friends here and there.
Mm.
Today they are here, tomorrow they are here.
Mm.
And when I went to see them where they were, when the friend saw me, she said, now that you're here, take your children and go. And I was so sick, I didn't know where to go. But I went to church. I thought if I go to church at least. And I narrated to the pastor, and all he did was give me 100 shillings and told me, go and look for somewhere to sleep. That is how we started sleeping on the streets and sometimes in lodgings.
With the kids?
With the kids.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Wow.
for almost a year. And that is how I was gang raped for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the kids around you?
Yeah, but how they slept throughout the ordeal, I do not know up to this date. by about 15 men.
Wow.
Yeah, and but I was treated at Kenyatta, and Teresa, at this time, a friend of mine who I had left prison with, we got connected, and she looked for help for me, and people paid for my rent, and my children are taken back to school. And basically, 2016 was a year of healing.
Yeah.
And on 2017, Teresa said, you can come work with me. She had started an organization, and on 2017, 22nd December, on my way home, I was gang raped again. I met some guys just a few meters from my gate.
What time was it? But it doesn't matter what
around
time.
9:30.
Yeah.
And they said hi, I said hi. They told me, Madam, don't dare walk away from us. And I asked them, you don't know me. And my instinct told me, give them your handbag. They said, we are not interested with your handbag. Let's go this way. They took me to a place where there was a river, but it was dry, and they ripped off my clothes, and they gang raped me, they sodomized me, and they put sticks in me, and they left me for dead. They didn't carry anything from me. Yeah, and when I woke up, in the middle of the night, I just pulled my bag. They had pushed my head on my bag, and took my phone and called my sister-in-law. And she came with some few people. I was taken to Nairobi Women. I was admitted, and that is where I was treated. And
this is your sister-in-law of...
married to my brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was treated at Nairobi Women for maybe a month. And when I started healing, I went back to work.
Yeah.
At this time, I saw no need for counseling. I had so much in me, so much baggage in me. And so I went back to work. And on April 2018, I was gang raped again.
Again?
Yeah, they came to my house in the middle of the night. I was alone. My children had gone to my auntie's, and they pulled me out of the bed. They gang raped me in my house for almost 2 hours. Yeah, and this time they put a rolling pin in me. Then they left.
So sorry.
Yeah, and I was taken again to Nairobi Women, treated there. And between that time, all those time, I have had 8 operations.
Because of that ordeal?
Because of that ordeal. But also at this time, I really needed to heal inside.
Yeah.
And I asked God to heal me.
Yeah.
Actually, no counseling would heal me. I had so much bitterness in me.
Okay.
And I remember crying out to God and asking him to heal me. And truly, truly, God is a healer. I can sit here and say that God is a healer because I hold no bitterness. And he asked me to forgive, and I've forgiven everyone. I looked for my mom, I forgave her.
You found your mom?
Yes, I looked for her, I forgave her.
You saw her after how many years?
30 years. She left when I was 4.
Okay.
So after 30 years, and actually I'm the one who asked for forgiveness. I've looked for so many people to ask for forgiveness. And it's in this obedience that God has healed me. And I hold no bitterness. And even today, if I met those rapists, I would just forgive them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for you, your journey to get your fresh start was forgiveness.
Forgiveness. Yeah.
Forgiveness was something that has really, really helped you to heal.
To heal.
And also to seek the relationships that you didn't have, like with your mom, and mend them and continue healing to date.
To date, so true. Forgiveness has been it's what I heard God saying, just keep forgiving and just keep forgiving. And I kept forgiving, I kept forgiving. And the more I kept forgiving, the more God revealed himself in my life. Yeah.
But you went for physical healing?
Yes.
The operations. Are you okay today?
I'm very much okay.
Okay.
I'm very much okay. I've got no scars. You can't, it's like God created another new body for me. Yeah.
So today, where are you? In your journey? With the kids?
With the kids.
With the work, Where are you?
I took time off to heal, so I've not been working.
Okay.
And I really needed that.
Mm.
And let's say that God has taken care of me, because no one has taken but God.
Mm.
I'm also recently married.
You got into a
I
relationship?
got into a relationship. He was actually my best friend.
Okay.
I didn't even think that anything could come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
He has held my hand through all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And when he asked for my hand in marriage, we didn't even date. Yeah, he asked for my hand in marriage on August, and we got married on February.
Wow.
Yeah.
This year? No, last year?
No, this year.
This year?
This year.
Oh,
So
congratulations.
A month
so
ago.
you're a new bride.
I'm a new bride.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
How were you able to love again?
Oh, this is a person who has really worked with me.
Okay.
This is a person I have pushed away. This is a person, it's like God was revealing himself through him.
All right.
And God has used him to heal me in so many ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. You've gone through a lot of experiences. But seeing you here glowing and being able to speak about it and forgive, I think that is such a lesson for most of us. Most of us are not able to do that. And I must commend you. What are the lessons that you can give a viewer out there who is going through some difficult situation?
What I can say is that you can rise above any situation. Okay. There's no situation that is too hard for you to rise. And when you ask for help from God, He takes you out of it. So surmount your energy, desire to heal, and just come out of it. It's doable and it's possible.
Indeed, Celine, that was a powerful story. I couldn't have said it better. The objective of this program is to give you amazing personal experiences that will inspire you to create a life that you love. Life is full of second chances, and all you have to do is to choose to have your fresh start today. If the stories in this show inspired you, don't forget to like this channel. And also remember to press on the bell notification button so that you're notified anytime that I send a new video. Thank you for watching. This is A Fresh Start with Jackie. My take home from today's session with Celine is, as she said, a rising above life challenges. Celine has gone through so much, but one thing that has made her thrive and have her fresh start was forgiveness. And she even went ahead to seek those people that she had not seen for ages, like the mother, and ask for forgiveness. Forgiveness is not given to people who have done us right. Forgiveness is not easy. But forgiveness is how you cut the umbilical cord that still attaches you with your past hurting experiences. So for me today, my take home is forgiveness. Seek for forgiveness and forgive other people so that you can find peace and so that you can be well with yourself. Because when you don't forgive, it's like taking poison and hoping that the other person will die. If you know anyone who will benefit from Celine's story, don't forget to share it with them. Otherwise, like the video, share on the comments, what was your lesson from this story? What was your takeaway from this story? Also, remember to subscribe on this channel. Remember to press on the bell notification button so that you're notified anytime that I share a new video. Thank you once again, and this is A Fresh Start with Jackie. See you in the next video.